Hi, my name is Lucia Vera Cruz from allformoms.com, where I help moms overcome emotional eating. And in today's training video, I wanted to talk about what causes emotional and binge eating. So if you have ever tried fixing this problem during therapy, you may have heard that perhaps you have an eating disorder, that it is not your fault, and that the root cause may be your emotional state and your inability to manage everyday life challenges without food. So that way, once you're able to cope without having to use food to numb your feelings, then you would be healed. Or if you stayed away from trigger foods such as sugar and white flour, then you wouldn't binge anymore. However, if this was really the case, then the chances of overcoming emotional eating would be really slim. And staying away from the trigger foods like sugar and white flour may seem impossible long term, especially with the kids around. And even an emotionally stable, well-balanced person may have some bad days and occasions. Now, would that mean that they would go and binge on that day? When I heard about this the first time, I was really depressed about it because I thought that meant that I could never be normal again, which meant that for the rest of my life, I'm gonna have to think and stress and worry about food, and I will never be able to resist my urges to overeat. But after overcoming anorexia, bulimia, and nearly 20 years of binging, years of research, treatments, and coaching, I have finally figured out a better way. It is important to know that if you are suffering from depression, anxiety, or any kind of trauma, then my coaching is not meant to be used instead of a help of a qualified professional or used as medical advice. Okay, so let's start by understanding what is emotional eating. Emotional eating is when we use large amounts of food to disconnect from our emotions, thinking that we can temporarily escape the feelings of sadness, boredom, or stress. However, as soon as we stop eating, these are replaced with more intense feelings of shame and guilt. Often, our emotions can trigger overeating, but so can overeating trigger more emotions. So while we are learning to manage our feelings after a lifetime of habits and beliefs and personality traits, this may take a while. So it is important to be patient, understanding, and compassionate with ourselves while we are learning new ways to cope. Working on our emotions will positively contribute to our healing indirectly, and improving our emotional state will put us on the right path so we can reconnect with ourselves and practice mindfulness. The more we practice being present, curious, and aware of our emotions, the easier it will be to work out how to handle them. However, regardless of our emotional state, the number one cause of binging and overeating are the urges to binge. Without these urges to binge, we would stop overeating completely, regardless of what kind of day we had. And me and my clients are living examples. Even though on some days we cope better than others, and regardless of having trigger foods or occasional treats, we still don't have the need to binge and overeat because the urges are completely gone. Now, why do we get these urges to binge? Now, this happens for two reasons. And the number one reason is when we restrict or deprive ourselves physically, mentally, and emotionally. Even if you think that you are not dieting, but if you feel any kind of shame, guilt, or disappointment around food or around your weight, that means that you are restricting on emotional level. And any form of restriction will always put us in survival mode. And when we are in survival mode, our brain drives us to eat an insane amount of food, not understanding that there is no scarcity of food. We are just restricting ourselves and we don't want to eat because we want to lose weight. When we restrict certain types or amounts of food, we are telling our brain that food won't be available for a while. So next time we see something that we are restricting, we get this intense desire to eat it because we know we are going to restrict again, telling our brain that it won't be available for a while. And that brings us to reason number 2 why we get the urges to binge, which is our habits that are ingrained in our brain. And a good example for this is learning to tie our shoelaces. Initially, when we first start, we really have to pay attention, we have to concentrate and repeat the process over and over again until it becomes effortless and automated. And it is exactly the same with our eating. At the moment, you are most likely dieting and binging on an autopilot. So if you want to change that, you are going to have to change your eating habits with effort, concentration, and repetition in order for these new habits to become effortless and automated. And by doing so, we will create these new neural pathways in the brain, which is exactly what we teach our clients in our mindset and body coaching program. We teach them how to step by step eliminate these urges to binge once and for all. And we do this by covering all aspects of emotional eating, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And if you need more help overcoming your struggles with food, you can click on a link below where I have prepared a free training video for you. And here I explain what are the biggest mistakes that the emotional eaters make when they are trying to change, the 3 things that those who have succeeded have in their lives, and the 4-step proven system that you can start implementing today. You will also be able to schedule a free strategy call with me where we can talk about your specific challenges and if I can help you achieve peace and balance. So if you like this video, click on the like button or share, or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel for more helpful tips on how to have freedom from food forever. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more training videos on how to overcome emotional eating and achieve balance forever.